Hi everyone, this is the first part of our episode of Bezier Tool tutorial. Okay, as you can see, I have a pen button here which I want to use to show you some way, but it is not effective, so I will just use at the beginning to show you some few steps. But when we move forward, I will not be using it because it will delay the training, so you guys should follow me. Okay, let me change my background to a nice one. Okay, I'll choose the YouTube thumbnail size for the design. Okay, now let's begin. Here we are in the interface of the pixellab. Okay, this is the Bezier tool. This is the Bezier tool, as you can see. Okay, this is the Bezier tool. So you click on it. When you click on it, you get this shape. Okay, I don't know if it's a line or shape, but you can call it whatever you want. But when you click, this is the shape that you have to appear. Okay, now here we have two things to notify. We have the starting point and the ending point. Okay, let me show you the starting point. Sorry, let me reduce the size of my pen and so that, okay, here is the starting point. Here is the ending point. As you can see, where I draw the circle, that place is the starting point. Where I draw the rectangle shape, that place is the ending point. Now, you have to know something. Whenever you want to add a new point, it will be adding to the ending point. Okay. Now, the starting point, you cannot add any point at that side. Okay, only if you want to add a point, it will be adding towards the ending point, so you have to take note of that. Okay, now let's look at the second items element. This element, what is row? Let's look at it. Now let's click on it. Let me off the pen. Click on it. As you can see, when I click on it, this arrow have appear. This arrow. Okay, this is the arrow that you can use to direct your line. Okay, to direct your line where you want your line to pass. Let's look at it. Now, if you want to redirect, just drag it, put your hand on it, move it. You can increase it, decrease it, turn it how you want. Okay, now if you want to move this side, if you want to move this side, just click on this side. You see the pen, you see the arrow. When you click, you see the arrow. Okay, now when the arrow come, you can drag now where you want your shape to pass. This is how you can drag to form a nice shape. You can drag, you can do a straight line with the Bezier tool. Just click on one another. This is how you can create a straight line, as you can see. Now let's look at the other features of the second element. Okay, as you can see, we have this element. Let's look at it. Okay, this element, delete button, the same with the first one, is the delete button. Okay, now we see the point is 1. Now if you want to add another point, click on the first one, click on it. Now touch the screen of your app and you see the point there. See, now let's come to the second one. Under the second one, this one is to add a point. Okay, as you can see, when I'm clicking, you can't see anything. Now let's look at how this one works. When you put it here and here, okay, let's look at how it works. If you let's say here is the starting point. Okay, here was the ending point. Now here become the ending point. You have to know that. Now let's say I want to add another point here in between these 2 points. What I have to do is that I have to click here. When I click here, I'll be able to add point here. Now if I want to add point in between these 2 lines, I have to click here so that I will be able to add point here. Let's look at it. I'm going to click here so that I can add point here. Let's look at it. I click here. Okay, since I click here and I'm going to click here, you can see the point. Okay, when I click here and the point has been added there. Okay, now I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here and here to add another point here. I click here. Now I click here. You see the point. This is how these two work. Now let's move on to let's look at the Bezier mode tools. Okay, the tools over here. Okay, let's look at it. You can see we have 3 items. Okay, the 3 items, we have this one, and this one. Let's look at the first, the second, and the third. So you guys should follow me. The pen, I'll remove the pen. Okay, now as you can see, when you click the Bezier tool, you get this shape. If it is at the first items, okay, when you click, if it is at the first and you touch your screen, you'll be adding a point. Okay, as you can see, whenever I attach, I'll add a new point. You can see, because what is at the first element. Okay, now let's see how you can remove a point. Okay, to remove a point, just come down here. You bring it to, let me show you. To remove a point, you have to click on this button. Okay, if you click on this button, you remove the point. Let's see. click on it, click on it, click on it, click on it, click on it. This is how that node work. Okay, now the second one, which is this one. When you click on this one, you combine the two nodes together. Okay, let's look at how it works. If I click here, as you can see, the two nodes have been combined together. Okay, now let's look at the next one, which is this one. This one, when you click on this, you open the shape. That two elements that have been combined together. When you click on this thing, you open it. Let's see how it works. Click on it. You see, it has been opened. Now, let's see how the third one works, which is this one. Okay, this one. When you click on this one, you'll be able to resize your shape, as you can see. That is resizing. Okay, now if you are done, you just click. If you are okay, you click on this thing. But if you don't want to resize, you want to cancel it, just click on this button. Don't click here. When you click here, it will take you out of the Bezier and you get your shape. Okay, if you want to cancel it, you click here. If you click here, automatically the Bezier Tool, everything that you design will be cancelled. Okay, so if you are done with your resizing, just click here. That's all. Okay, now let's look at the last part under the first one. This shape. That shape is the rotate shape. I know most of you know it. Since you are using the pixellab, you know it. This is the rotate shape. When you click here, you'll be able to rotate your shape. You can see. That is the rotate. When you are done, just click OK and you are done with it. Okay, now that we know our starting point and our ending point, okay, let's look at the tools at the other side, what they do. Okay, let's look at this tool here. What is their function? Okay, as this arrow, this one, it will bring you back. This one, it will take you forward. This one will copy the shape. Now the forward and the back, let's look at how they work. But before that, if you put, you can see that we have one. Okay, we have one. Now if you click the copy, the shape become two. Okay, here is the copy, this copy. When you want to duplicate a shape, you just click on that. If you click, it will become what? 3, 4, 5. Now let's see how the forward and the backward work. Okay, now we are number 5. Okay, if I click the backward, this I'll come to number 4. Okay, which means if I want to select the number 1, I have to click the backward, come to number 1. Now I have selected the number 1. If I want to select the number 3, I have to come here forward. 1, 2, 3. I have selected the number 3. Okay, so this is how those functions work. Okay, yeah, very simple. Now if you want to delete this shape, if you want to delete them, okay, it's very simple. As you select it like this, you can delete it. Just click OK and click your delete button and delete it. One thing you have to understand too, when you create a multiple shape by clicking the copy button, all the shape will be one into one. They will be meshed together to form one shape. You have to notice that. Okay. Now let's look at the third one. We've seen all in the first part. We've seen all this one, all these two in the first part. Okay, they're all the same thing. It doesn't change. You can see rotate, resize. This doesn't change. You can see this one. So basically this feature doesn't change anything. Okay, what you have to understand here is that when you want to move any of the point, you have to bring it here and you can be able to move the point. Okay, be able to move it, do whatever you want. Okay, now if you want to close the gap, just click here, click that arrow. If you click to close, you can move it. Okay, this is that effect. Now let's come to opacity. Now that we've created this example of the circle, okay, the opacity is the fill color of the shape that you create. We know that this one is look like a circle now, but the inside is empty. Let's say if you want to put color inside, you have to increase the opacity. This is the work of opacity. Okay, opacity. Okay, when you decrease it, you remove the color inside. Okay, now let's come down to fill color. Fill color, here is it. Now you can choose one single color or gradient color. This is some of the one single. Now you can choose the gradient color. Okay, you can create your own gradient color, very simple. Okay, now let's come to the stroke. You see the stroke. Okay, you see the stroke. This is the stroke size. Stroke. Now we have stroke width. As now is at 4. When you look at what will happen, when you increase it, look at what is going to happen. As you can see, the stroke size is increasing. Now if you want to remove the stroke, just reduce it to 0. Okay, now if you want to increase it, you can increase it like this. Now following the next element, which is this shape. This shape, the first one, make the border of the shape look rounded. This one make it look like flat. This one too, the same thing. Okay, so we create an example of the shape and we see how it works. Now this is the opacity of the stroke. Okay, this is where you can increase the opacity and reduce opacity of the stroke. Now we have stroke color. Here you can change the color of your stroke to anything. You can also decide to select a gradient color if you want. Okay, everything is there. Now let's look at the effect of this element. The effect of this element. Okay, let me create an example of the shape. Okay, I'll create some simple shape. You will design a lot of things with the Bezier tool. Okay, so just follow the basic. These are the basic. When you understand this thing, you will be able to do whatever you want with the Bezier tool without asking anybody. Okay, so take the tutorial very serious. Okay, now I'm going to lock it. You can see. Since I want to do a straight line to make sure. See, if you want to move one particular line, you have to double click that side so that you'll be able to move that particular line. Okay, now let's fill it. Okay, take note of the border. Okay, now you see the border. When I click here, you will see the difference between them. Okay, let me do a very simple. Okay, now you see the border is rounded. Okay, when you click here, you see the difference. When you click this one too, you see how it looks. So this is the effect that those items that's in this thing, the Bezier tool. So this was the introduction of the Bezier tool. Okay, for you to understand what the tool does. So go ahead and watch the video, understand everything inside the video. In the next part, we will try and design some simple shape with the Bezier tool. Okay, just feel free. If you watch the video you don't understand anything, ask me any question. I will be there and answer the question if I can. If I can't, we will find the solution together. Okay, so this is the simple introduction. Thank you for watching.